4479. Which altitude is indicated when the altimeter is set to 29.92 inches of Hg? A. Density. B. Pressure. C. Standard. The correct answer is B. The altimeter will display pressure altitude when it is set to the standard altimeter setting of 29.92 inches of Hg. 4911. At an altitude of 6,500 feet MSL, the current altimeter setting is 30.42 inches of Hg. The pressure altitude would be approximately A. 7,500 feet, B. 6,000 feet, C. 6,500 feet. The correct answer is B. The altitude displayed when the altimeter setting window is set to 29.92 inches of Hg, the idealized standard datum plane, is known as pressure altitude. Utilize the steps below to determine pressure altitude. 1. Calculate the variation between the supplied pressure and the reference pressure. 30.42 minus 29.92 equals 0.50 inches of Hg. 2. Determine the indicated altitude's change. Around 1 inch per 1,000 feet is the typical pressure lapse rate. 500 feet of difference result from multiplying 50 by 1,000. 3. Determine the pressure altitude. The pressure in the common datum plane is less than the station's current setting, hence the pressure altitude will also be less. 6,000 feet pressure altitude is equal to 6,500 feet MSL minus 500 feet. 4912. The pressure altitude at a given location is indicated on the altimeter after the altimeter is set to A. The field elevation, B. 29.92 inches of Hg, C. The current altimeter setting. The correct answer is B. Pressure altitude is the altitude indicated when the altimeter setting is 29.92 inches of mercury, Hg, regardless of the actual air pressure at the altitude. It is used in aviation to provide a common reference for all aircraft, regardless of their location or the current weather conditions. To calculate pressure altitude, the altimeter setting is adjusted to 29.92 inches of mercury. This adjustment is made by turning the altimeter setting knob, which is located on the front of the altimeter. Once the altimeter setting is adjusted, the altimeter will indicate the pressure altitude. Pressure altitude is used in aviation for a variety of purposes, including calculating aircraft performance, planning flights, ensuring safe separation between aircraft. It is important to note that pressure altitude is not the same as true altitude. True altitude is the actual distance above sea level. Pressure altitude is a theoretical value that is used for aviation purposes. 4913. If the outside air temperature increases during a flight at constant power and at a constant indicated altitude, the true airspeed will A. Decrease and true altitude will increase. B. Increase and true altitude will decrease. C. Increase and true altitude will increase. The correct answer is C. When the outside air temperature increases, the air density decreases. This means that the aircraft will have to fly faster in order to maintain the same indicated airspeed. The faster airspeed will result in a higher true airspeed. The higher true airspeed will also result in a higher true altitude because the aircraft will be flying through less dense air. Here is a more detailed explanation. When the outside air temperature increases, the air molecules move faster. This causes the air pressure to decrease. The lower air pressure causes the air density to decrease. The lower air density means that there are fewer air molecules to push against the aircraft's wings. This means that the aircraft will have to fly faster in order to generate the same amount of lift. The faster airspeed will result in a higher true airspeed. The higher true airspeed will also result in a higher true altitude, because the aircraft will be flying through less dense air. 4922. Altimeter setting is the value to which the scale of the pressure altimeter is set, so the altimeter indicates A. Pressure altitude at sea level, B. True altitude at field elevation, C. Pressure altitude at field elevation. The correct answer is B. Each FSS broadcasts the altimeter setting, which is a computed correction for non-standard surface pressure only for a particular height and location. Altimeter indications based on a local altimeter setting therefore reflect the correct attitude at field elevation.